Hello, everyone. Welcome to this interview with PVS Investments. I am delighted to be joined by Pjotr Van Schothorst, founder of PVS Investments, a Netherlands-based private VC fund focused on clean energy, waste valorization, and industrial electrification. Pjotr's career journey is truly remarkable. He has began his path studying applied physics at Delft University of Technology, driven by a passion for solving the world's energy challenges through nuclear fusion. Over the years, he transitioned into 3D graphics and simulation, building successful ventures in that space before returning to his original mission, investing in innovative startups shaping the future of sustainable energy. Today, he combines decades of technical and entrepreneurial experience with a deep commitment to supporting technologies that can save, generate, or store clean energy. We will be speaking with Pjotr about the evolving European VC landscape, opportunities in climate energy innovation, and how data-driven insights can empower smarter investment decisions in the fast-moving ecosystem. Good morning, Pjotr. Welcome to this short interview with Tracxn.
Good morning, Vinaj. Very happy to be here, actually.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We would like to run you through a few questions where you could help us with your insights. To start with, Pjotr, you've had a fascinating journey from applied physics and 3D graphics to investing in clean energy startups. What inspired this transition back to your original passion?
Well, the original passion generated from the 70s when I went to high school, and there was the fear that the world was running out of oil and gas. Like, oh my God, there's a limited quantity available in the earth crust, and it's depleting. So we need something else. And so what can we do? And that's one of the options that came up at the time was nuclear fusion, as call it a free source of energy. At least that's how it was seen at the time. You create water molecules into hydrogen and you fuse them into helium, generates a lot of energy. So completely different from oil and gas. So I was fascinated by that, and I wanted to be part of that change away from oil and gas. So global warming was not so much, let's say, in the picture. People didn't realize that global warming was actually occurring as a result from burning fossil fuels. At least I wasn't. Some people were, but they were not so loud yet. So later on, of course, that came up as another reason to do this, to change over from fossil fuels to sort of clean energy. But instead, so when I studied physics, it was the reason to choose to study physics. But when I was there, I realized the fusion route was going to take a very long time. I mean, like it's decades away, and people still say, even what is it, 50 years, 40 years later, it's still going to be decades away. So that's the almost eternal story of fusion. Well, things looking more promising now. Let's say there's about 50 fusion startups now. Some of them really well funded in the US, especially Commonwealth Fusion System. I invested myself in a fusion startup in France, Renaissance Fusion. So it is coming closer, but still it's coming too late to solve, let's say, global warming problems. So we need other solutions in the meantime. So I joined Shell after graduation because I thought, okay, at least learn the energy landscape. I wanted actually to be an entrepreneur, but I didn't have a good idea what company to start when I graduated. So I thought, let's join a big company, save money, get ideas for promising ventures. And that Shell, and I stayed with Shell for a couple of years, and then eventually found the idea not for clean energy, because that was still not very hot in the late 90s. The thing was, the oil companies kept finding more oil and gas, thanks to 3D graphics, expensive 3D graphics. From companies like Silicon Graphics, they paid like $250,000 just for one workstation. And at the same time, NVIDIA came up It's a small
Right.
startup in the late 90s, doing it for 250 euros. Like this is three orders of magnitude cheaper 3D graphics provided by NVIDIA.
Uh-huh.
But their purpose was gaming. It was really made for faster gameplay and nicer looking gameplay. And I thought maybe we can also benefit from this same technology in the oil and gas industry. So I looked for opportunities. Shell people from Shell Game Changer was like a seed fund inside of Shell. They sponsored me to explore different applications, different projects, to look at how this cheap 3D graphics could support Shell and other oil companies. And the best prototypes came in the area of safety training. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna set up a company focused on safety training. Let's say oil platform evacuation training, in general, safety awareness training, familiarization training for new oil and like all these dangerous areas, make them safer. It's another form of impact, you could say. But at least I had the feeling that I was doing something useful for the world and not sort of create yet another .com startup, because the whole .com boom came up in the late 90s as well, but it busted completely in the year 2000. And so a lot of value was just completely evaporated. And 3D graphics, I saw this 3D graphics as the next big thing coming up. And on hindsight, you could say I should have bought some shares from NVIDIA, because they went up with a factor of 4,000 on the stock exchange. So you think about investing now, you're looking for a 10x return in a couple of years' time, but you could have made 4,000x return on your money just investing in NVIDIA stock back in the 90s when they came up. Anyway, so I did not invest in the stock, but I did invest in the hardware, the products. So the first company was about safety training, but I also invested in another company that used it to create architecture visualization. So really nice looking pictures, software to allow architects to make really nice looking pictures from their CAD designs. And that company actually became more successful than the safety training. So fast forward, let's say 20 years in time. And then that second company created dividends, or started to hand out dividends to the founders, and I was one of the co-founders, and I used my part of the dividends to invest in startups back in the original the interest area of clean energy, away from fossil fuels.
Wow, that's a fascinating journey, Pjotr. I mean, I still can't believe the idea began in the 1970s. It's a remarkable achievement that you've had over the years, starting companies and taking that portion of dividend or the profits to invest in again in your passion to support this ecosystem. Excellent.
Thanks.
Pjotr, tell us a bit about PVS Investments. What kind of startups or technologies excite you the most today?
Well, I'm really like a techie, so I like technical innovation. You can see it from the fusion, like the potential impact of nuclear fusion, completely different technology, how big it could have and still can have in the future. So I'm looking for, fusion-like investment opportunities. So like new materials or all kinds of things are possible now. That have potential big sort of positive impact on the Earth. So in terms of reducing global warming or limiting global warming, carbon capture is one of them, but also creating clean fuel, batteries, all that kind of thing, industrial electrification. So if we really need to move away from burning fossil fuels, because the burning part is what's bad about it, then we need to sort of not only create electricity, but we need to sort of turn over from cars, not only cars, but also industrial processes to move away from what they now do, is burning coal or burning gas, into electrification. So those are the kind of things.
Is Europe doing enough to support deep tech and clean energy?
No, not enough. Clearly not enough. That came out of the Draghi report. So there's a whole list of recommendations that there still need to be followed up. I mean, it doesn't go that fast, but you need Like where, if you say, it's easy to say we need more sort of late stage funding, but that's like
Right.
billions and billions of dollars. Where does it come from? I mean, who's going to provide it? It takes quite a long time to catch up with, let's say, that lead that the US has sort of taken over decades. So Silicon Valley as an investment sort of ecosystem came up. Startup investment VC ecosystem came up already like in the 70s or 60s. And we started, you could say, 40 years later. So how fast can you catch up? But the bottom line is, of course, for the startups in Europe, where do they, on the short term, if they really need around C or D funding, it's not possible to get exclusively with European investors. They need to look also for US investors. And some of these investors will say, okay, I will invest, but then you also need to move the whole company to US, or at least the first plant, the first of a kind plant needs to be here. So there could be demands like that. And so yes, a long way to go.
Understood. Yeah, it's an eye opener for the European VC funds. Thank you, Peter. Coming to the data intelligence and diligence and emerging opportunities, like with so much innovation happening across Europe, how do you stay informed about emerging startups and new technologies?
Yeah, there's a whole range of things needed for that. When I started 6 years ago, really, I didn't know. I said, okay, I have money. I'm interested to invest. Who wants my money? But I wasn't aware of any companies, and I literally read in the newspaper about a particular startup, and I contacted through LinkedIn the founder, said, do you need some investment money? No, I don't need any investment money. That's how it went in the beginning. But now the whole, it has developed not only with me, but in general, the whole landscape of startups and investing in startups has developed over the last 5 years tremendously. So now, now there are specific newsletters. There's on LinkedIn, you can follow other investors, startups. You can a multitude of ways to be up to date. So every morning I read at least 1 hour of newsletters and specialized news information. And there's, of course, podcast. There's private newsletters from leading investors. So I try to read all of them, or as much as possible. But also Tracxn now is a new way for me to source my data from. So I made a query. The first thing I did is made a query like, oh, give me a list of all the listed European startups in climate tech that exist only for 5 years and have not raised any significant funding yet, because I'm early stage funder. And out came 425 companies. Many of them I didn't know. So it's my homework now to follow up on that. And of course, Tracxn also provides me the option to dig into them and make comparisons. And so it's very helpful in that sense for me for deal sourcing. Even if they don't need money right now, you want to be on their radar. They need to be on your radar. So that's how it works. It's not always like, oh, there's a company needing money and then they frantically start looking for investors. The most promising startups already make contact with potential investors like a year before they need funding. It's just they dedicate a portion of their time just for making contact on an early level with potential future investors. So yeah, that's for me the next thing to do as well.
Great. So that actually shows the importance of having structured private market data in identifying next big opportunity, and your thoughts on having a platform like Tracxn can help smaller VC funds and other investors compete with larger funds. Right?
Absolutely. So it's unbelievable what the platform offers. I think like most other investors that have the same sort of level of deal flow, that I make like 8 investments per year. A lot of VCs also make 8 investments per year, but they have a team of 5 or 10 people assessing all these deals. So the fact that I can do it just by myself, and still I think all these investments that I make are still quite good. You could say there's a few bankruptcies, but most of them I still see a very high future for. So the fact that I can do this is only thanks to platforms like Tracxn, and now I subscribed fully. I used your free version in the past, and now I fully subscribe, and I see the benefits of that because I have so much more information available to me, and these reports and all these things. So I think it's for every serious investor, it's a must-have. You cannot do without Tracxn or there are a few similar platforms, but I think the other ones sort of stayed on the same level. And Tracxn, that's how I see it from the outside, races past them. So in terms of the services and the information available and how fast you can dig and export, and I'm quite impressed.
Thank you very much, Pjotr. That is really fascinating to know that you found it really useful in your day-to-day activities as well. And when it comes to founder and innovation mindset, right? So does the platform help you identify founders working on complex, sincere, on heavy innovation?
Well, I haven't got to that level yet, to be honest. So I'm just figuring it out for myself in terms of deal flow sourcing and analyzing startups. Already I saw the option that founders can actually actively put also up their pitch deck, so they can list as active fundraising. So I will promote that option to all the companies that I invested in. Like, if you go for the next round, this is a very good option because, you can even limit it, because some of them are a little bit afraid, like, okay, I want to be selective. I want to be in control. Who exactly sees my pitch deck? They don't want the pitch deck to sort of move around all over the world and end up in the hands of, let's say, their competitors or people that they're not interested in. But I think your platform also offers sort of limiting access to just whoever you specify. So that's for me the next thing, to promote it, to analyze the benefits and promote it to the list of startups that I invested in.
Thank you so much. And talking about that capability, Pjotr, this particular capability is very unique to Tracxn, where founders are able to express their interest in raising their first round, or even the follow-on rounds, or even if they're raising a secondary round transaction, right? So Tracxn is quite helpful. It helps the startups to connect with the investors directly. There's no middleman involved in that. And thank you so much for that. And if you could give one piece of advice to early stage founders in the energy or sustainability space, what would it be?
Well, if it's just one advice, I would say do your homework really well before you actually pitch. Like, I saw a lot of pitch decks that have not analyzed their market really well, that have not done like interviews with prospective customers, for example. This is something I'm really looking for. Is if you say you're making something for a particular customer base, have you actually talked to those customers? Have you presented your idea or your innovation or your machine, whatever you're making, to them and say, like, if we made this one, if we made this device, if you made this product, and we could sell it to you at this price level in these volumes, would you buy it?
Right.
A very simple question. Many of them say, "Wow, we're not there yet. We first want to make samples and have them test the samples." I think you can do a lot just on paper and call it imagination or 3D visualization, just pretending that if this product was right now available, would you buy it? So this is the tech founders are having a problem with this. So that's why I'm saying, like, hook up with a commercial person also very early on, value the contribution that a commercial person can have to the success of your company, And this is one of the important things on their to-do list.
Great. Thank you so much. I think these are critical insights for founders to attract investments and to scale their innovation. Thank you, Pjotr. Lastly, what keeps you most excited about investing in the energy space today? It's your passion?
Well, I think, yes, it's the fascination with, let's say, technical innovation, that it's possible to always keep improving things. Always new. I mean, some people think, oh, we invented now everything. We just need to scale it up. You know, there's sun, there's wind, there's storage. We just need more money to scale it up to a global level. But no, that's not the case. Batteries can always be better, faster, cheaper. Solar can be better, faster, cheaper. And on the circularity side, waste is a lot of things are simply not recycled yet. Why? Because it's too expensive. So it needs to be better, faster, cheaper. So I'm always fascinated by technical innovation and how it can help, let's say, the world, the earth, to become a better place, and the people on it. Yeah, that's really what keeps driving me.
Excellent. So innovations that are poised to human progress is something that you would probably love. Thank you.
Yes.
And looking ahead into 2030, what breakthrough or trends do you believe will reshape the clean energy investment landscape?
Well, it's not so much reshape. I think the trend that we see already, let's say the last 10 years, solar getting cheaper, better, faster, cheaper, wind getting better, batteries getting better. So, but if you keep pushing that trend, if you see those things becoming better, faster, cheaper, then the economics of replacing oil and gas starts to become more prominent, more clear to everybody. Like we have this big discussion about data centers for AI, for example. You could say AI is completely separated from clean energy. No, because they need to build massive data centers that need massive amounts of electricity. And the current electricity is not there yet to power them. What's the fastest way of providing the new AI data centers with energy? That's solar, wind, battery storage. This is because even you could not get gas generators, gas turbines quick enough. There's a waiting list of 10 years for big gas turbines. So if you say, okay, we just buy an old-fashioned gas turbine, you're lost in the line. But for solar and wind, it's much faster to create these close to where you build the data center, for example. So this is really the trend that keeps sort of pushing forward. There's sort of related trends of nuclear, you could say, small modular reactors. Small size nuclear reactors are becoming sort of commonplace, I think, over the next 10 years. There's also about 30 startups developing these, and not all of them will survive, but some of them will survive. And they also can offer a lot in terms of powering the future grid and all the electrification that's needed to happen over the next decades.
Great. Thank you, Pjotr, for these valuable insights. And all the viewers, thank you so much. These insights are powered by Tracxn, helping investors like PVS Investments stay ahead of the emerging opportunities. Thank you, Pjotr. Thank you very much for your time today. Really appreciate, and we wish you a great journey ahead with Tracxn.
Thank you very much for having me. Have a good day.
You too.